Hi everyone, in my other video, I talked about the oxidation number for each group of the elements. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to judge the oxidation number of certain elements in the compounds. Because the oxidation number trend I talked about in my other video was just a general rule. And now, I'm going to talk about specific elements. Sometimes in the compound they could have changing oxidation number, and how do you know what kind of oxidation number they have? So let me give you one example to analyze the most fundamental principle of compound's oxidation number, which is everything in the compound, the oxidation number should add up to 0. For example, H2O, okay? Have H2O, it's water. In H2O, each hydrogen we know for sure is positive 1, okay? And then oxygen is right here, it's in group 16, it should be negative 2. Okay, we talked about why. So now if you take a look, this is positive 1 for each, and you have 2 hydrogen, right? Don't forget you have 2 hydrogen, so it's positive 2 in total, because you multiply it by 2. And then oxygen is negative 2, and because you have only 1 oxygen, it's going to be negative 2, and so they add up to be 0. Okay, so any compound, the oxidation number should add up to be 0. And now let's take a look at one typical example of changing oxidation number. For example, in HCl, O4. Okay, in this case, hydrogen is still positive 1, and oxygen is still negative 2 for each. And this one, chlorine, is actually changing. Okay, so in this case, you would have to add the hydrogen. Okay, you have only 1 hydrogen, so you have positive 1 in total. And here you have 4 oxygen, you would have negative 8 in total. And this chlorine should be question mark. Okay, they should add up to be 0. And what is that question mark? It should be positive 7, right? Okay, so because 1 plus 7 minus 8 is 0, right? So that's this one. And if you take a look at the chlorine, it's actually in group 17. Usually it takes negative 1. Why is it changing? And you might want to ask me, Miss Jessica, I don't really know if the element's oxidation number is changing or not. So if you do chemistry problems for a long enough time, you would know that certain elements like hydrogen is usually positive 1. Only in rare cases that, for example, you have NaH. In this case, Na is positive 1 sodium, and the hydrogen would be negative 1. But that's really, really rare. It's not common. Usually it's positive 1. And the oxygen is usually negative 2. In rare cases, it could be negative 1. For example, hydrogen peroxide. In this case, it's negative 1, positive 1. But that's really rare. Usually it's negative 2. So, and fluorine is always negative 1. Fluorine is definitely negative 1. There's nothing that's going to change this fact, okay? And so, if you know hydrogen, oxygen, usually you can use, based on these 2 common oxidation numbers, that you can know other elements in the compound, okay? So, that's basically it. And somebody might want to ask me, how about this one, sodium positive? What is the oxidation number of sodium positive? Well, simply it's positive 1 because why? You have a positive sign here, okay? So that's basically it. Oxidation number is pretty easy, but it's one of the most fundamental thing in chemistry. You have to understand this in order to do some other more advanced level questions. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.